You're listening to Manna for the Day.
Magandang umaga po sa ating lahat. For today's manna, I would like us to reflect on Philippians chapter 4, verse 14, which says, "Yet it was kind of you to share my trouble." Pagkatapos ng 2 taon ng pag-iingat, taking care of ourselves, fulfilling as many precautions as possible, and telling ourselves, hindi to mangyayari sa akin tsaka sa aking pamilya, we were hit by COVID just last week. In fact, we were all freed from the 7-day home quarantine just yesterday. Sa mga panalangin natin or panalangin namin araw-araw, both individually and corporate, we usually ask the Lord's protection over ourselves and our families from the virus. For the Lord to take care of us so we don't get sick, so our children won't suffer, so we don't have to temporarily leave our jobs just to recover, so no church ministry will suffer from our absence. But at some point, nahanap natin yung mga sarili natin sa gitna nung kinatatakutan natin. So the moment we felt the unusual itch in the throat and the 2-day fever, we were worried how we would live for the next few days of isolation. But what happened to us those 13 days was like having Philippians 4 being preached to us personally. Siyempre, yung nangyari sa amin, never makakompare sa nangyari kay Paul o sa na-experience niya because of the gospel. The persecution, the physical pain, imprisonment, ours was not even a tenth to what he went through. But reading through chapter 4 of his letter to the Philippian church, we felt how Paul must have felt when the believers in Philippi took care of him and his needs. After telling the Christians there to rejoice in the Lord always, and that the Lord will supply all his needs, or in whatever situation he is to be content, in verse 14, sabi niya, "Yet it was kind of you to share my trouble." And that statement resonated with me so much every single day the whole 2 weeks. Yet it was kind of you. The Philippian church's kindness here also translates to concern. And their concern for Paul resulted to acts of generosity. Their acts of generosity were a way of taking some of Paul's hardship on themselves. Nung kami po ay nag-test na positive, we had little to no time to prepare ourselves for the quarantine. We haven't shopped for groceries, we were running out of baby supplies, we didn't know what meds to aid us during the ordeal. Our only concern was to quarantine as soon as possible so we don't infect others. But during that time, families, friends, our life group and their families as well, reached out and sent us practical forms of encouragement like food, meds, yung mga text messages po na nagtatanong kung ano nang pakiramdam namin or what can we give you. Like the Philippian church's kindness towards Paul, we too received what we exactly needed. At sabi dun sa second part ng ating maikling verse, "To share my trouble." What is overwhelming more than the meals we received was the way how our Christian family aided us. They went to us personally. Lumapit po sila, some of them nakalapit po hanggang sa pintuan. The others just knocked on our doors and waved from a distance. But they went to us personally. The risk those who took to knock on our door, though knowing that we have a highly transmissible virus, is kind. Those who just recovered and took an extra time to converse with us right at our doorstep is kind. When Paul said in verse 14 that they shared in his distress, we felt that. Ramdam po namin yun. And brothers and sisters in the Lord were emphatic to us, making their fellowship with our distress personal. We did not suffer on our own. Our burden was carried by the rest of the body of Christ. As I was thanking our Christian family for their assistance while we were sick, I have been telling them how my family and I appreciate their tangible rescue. Because they too underwent the same situation, they knew exactly how to help, what to give, what to say, how to encourage, and how to share with our trouble. And I think that is one of the depths we have learned from the situation. That even if the Lord allows us to enter into distress, His grace is not just sufficient for our needs, but the experience allows us to enter into others' troubles. That the same grace that was extended to us, we will also extend to the next person or family who will encounter the same thing. It makes us more emphatic Christians, brothers and sisters to those who are in need, with a deeper understanding of how it is to be kind, to share with others trouble.
And that was our manna for the day.
Subscribe and follow our social media accounts for more content and be updated with Bahrain Christian Fellowship.